And I had this woman come in. She was so nervous, she could barely speak. And, you know, we were struggling. And I said to her, I said, you know, how about we just take a minute here? You're obviously very nervous. I mean, we're all people. We all get nervous. You're obviously very nervous, but you compose yourself. We'll start again. She became so relaxed, I couldn't get her out of my office. She went on for probably 2 hours. I was with a group of people, and they were stepping on my feet under the table to try to stop me. So, you know, so realize there's a fine line between being too nervous and too relaxed. So, and remember, it's about, one of the biggest things is, it's about first impression. You know, I used to strive to pick the person that would fit best in my organization. And I hate to say not necessarily the one with the best skill set. Because in no company, you're never going to walk into a company and know their computer system, their telephone system, their paging system, their filing system. Those are all learned. Well, if you've got a decent supervisor, they should be willing to teach you. But the culture of the company and the team you're going to work with, that is important. You need to be able to fit into their environment, to work well with others, and be a part of their team. So that's my little couple of minutes about interviewing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple applicants come in, and we're going to ask some typical interview questions, and we'll see how they do. And there should be time for some questions and some answers at the end. And I'd really like to ask some of you what you think of my applicants. Hi, I'm Joanne. Oh.
Sorry, nice to meet you.
And you're?
Denise.
You're Denise. Please sit down. Thank you for coming in.
Here.
Yes, this is good. So Denise, it's okay if I call you Denise, right?
Yes, please.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and your previous work experience.
I've had good work experience and my, oh, hold on.
Oh, she's bad to the bone.
Really? Hi, this isn't a good time right now. Well, I'm applying for a job, but I'll text you a little bit later, okay? All right, thanks, bye. Sorry.
That's quite all right. So now, would you like to tell me a little bit about your work experience?
I just remembered I got it. I worked at McDonald's,
Okay.
and I worked with other people helping get things organized there because they got to do hamburgers and French fries and the machines, and that's I had computer experience.
Okay, so what did you like or dislike most about this position?
There was food. There was, I got to meet people. There was benefits, some, but I couldn't work enough hours because I had problems with the car a lot. That's kind of what ended that.
Okay. What do you consider to be your biggest accomplishment in that position?
I made it to work almost every day. Because there was just always a lot going on, but I worked with people, and I enjoyed working with people, and I made a lot of friends.
Okay.
Look at this. Because on Facebook here, you can see I got all these friends. Look at lots of friends. Oh, don't look at that. That was, you don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
No. But that was last night. But I have a lot of good contacts.
Oh, good. Can you tell me a little bit about your strengths?
My strengths. I'm really good with people, and I can type. I saw typing was important. I'm really good. I can get this, and I can type on here really fast. I've gotten really good with that. So, and I've got the computers because we had them there at the restaurant.
How about your weaknesses?
Well, I'm kind of trying to let my hair grow out. I know you wanted someone for this thing keeps falling apart. For front office, but it'll be better.
Oh, okay. So obviously in McDonald's, they get very busy. There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And you have to work, you work under pressure, and
Yeah.
are you easily stressed?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
How do you handle stress and pressure?
Well, I'm usually okay. I just go to the restroom and sit down for a couple of minutes, and when I'm through crying, then I'm good.
Okay, so now you told me that you work well with people. Would you rather work independently, or would you rather work in a team?
I don't know. I've never worked independently much because I always worked with everyone else there at the restaurant. We had to make sure that the go window knew what the counter was doing and the counter knew what the cook was doing. And so I don't know what it means to work independently.
Is that the only work? I see here you've had some other positions.
Right.
And
right.
you've had a little bit of front office, and you've got a little bit of clerical here.
But how much does this pay?
Well, it's a salary range depending upon our applicant and depending upon our applicant's past experience. So
I needed something, because it has vacation time, right? Because I needed vacation time, insurance, and I wanted to make sure I got enough money.
well, all of those things start after your probationary period. All full-time employees are entitled to paid time off.
I gotta be on probation?
It's we have a 30-day probationary period. I'm sure you'd like to see if we're a fit, and we want to see if you're a fit.
Oh, that kind of probation. Oh.
So can you, being in McDonald's and some of the other jobs you've had, I'm sure that you've come across some difficult work situations.
Yes.
Our customers, how did you handle that? Give me an example and tell me how you handled that.
Well, I kind of, like I said, I just go off and go sit in the bathroom for a while and cry it out and then I, oh, hold on a second. It's in here somewhere. Oh, wait, Hannah. Oh, good. Okay, good. Sorry.
Can I ask you why you answered our ad?
Because I need something with more money.
I can tell you have a lot of friends.
I do. I'll text her.
Are those all prospective job interviews?
Sure. Sure they are.
Okay, so you answered our ad.
Oh,
Because-
right. Because I want to make sure I get at least $15 an hour.
Oh, okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Married, maybe working somewhere. I'd like to go to the beach. So that's why I want to know about the vacation time, because I'd like to be able to go to the beach with my friends.
Okay. Obviously, you like people, you consider yourself a people person. If the people you know were asked why I should hire you, what do you think they'd tell me?
I'm sorry?
I mean, obviously you have a lot of friends. If the friends you have were asked why I should hire you, what do you think they would tell me?
That I'm a people person. That I work with people, and I think that's what you need.
Okay.
What is it you do? What does the company do?
We're a sheet metal aerospace company, and I'm looking for a front office receptionist
Oh, okay, right.
and
right.
somebody who will
Do you make metal?
Yes, we do make metal. Do you have the 1 year do you have general office experience? The minimum requirement is the year, or someone who has had the equivalent in, what I'm going to say, in volunteering, or in a combination of experience and education. Do you feel you're suited for this job?
I think I could learn.
You can learn.
I could learn.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of offices, and I did work in the office at the restaurant there for a little while, helping them with some paperwork.
Okay.
So I do have some office experience.
Now, outside of the type of company we are, do you have any other questions for me?
Well, I didn't really. Good grief. Hi, hold. I'll call you back in about a half hour. I got to talk to you about last night, so don't go away. Okay, bye. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't remember the question.
Do you have any other questions for me about the company?
So we get vacation pay and benefits, and it's not every day. It's not Wednesdays or what days of the week is it?
For what?
For the job.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It is a full-time permanent position. And you would begin to accrue vacation time.
Because I'm not sure I can get here on Thursdays.
We would have to discuss that if you're the chosen applicant.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? So if you don't have any other questions, I want to thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
It was very nice meeting you, Denise.
Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to do it again. Is that all right? Okay. Will do. All right. So here's the next applicant. Hi, I'm Joanne. Oh, please, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Please be seated. I'm looking at your resume. It's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for being so complete on your details. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and your previous work experience?
Sure. As it says on my resume, I recently graduated college, and when I finished school, I was working as a student aide, which is a job that I had before finishing, and I was promoted to the lead aide upon finishing. It's been a part-time job, but it's been a job that offered a lot of good experience and opportunities working with computers and people and learning how to interact and be a part of a team. And now I am looking for opportunities that can further the skills that I learned there, and I went and got my Microsoft Office certification.
Oh, very nice.
So I have expertise in PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and in Access.
Very nice. What do you believe your biggest accomplishment was in your previous position?
One of the tasks that I had to was work on creating a database, and I took a database, I took information that we had to put into a database, and it really helped us to improve our efficiency and the way in which we communicate with our clients, because before we did everything manually, and then as I created the Access database, we were able to quickly communicate with them, let them know what was happening with the programs, and it became a project that has grown and been used throughout the company by now.
Okay, so you've told me a little bit about your project work. Are you better at working independently? Are you better in a team? Or do you like tasks that are assigned to you that you can just work by yourself?
I like both. I'm a team player. I get along well with others. I enjoy working in an environment that's supportive and positive culture, but I also work very well independently. If my supervisor has a task or several tasks that they want me to work on, I take directions well, and so they can let me know what the task is and give me a date by when it has to be done, and I'm very good at going independently at my own pace and completing that project.
You're obviously very organized and thorough with what you do. Can you tell me what your greatest weakness is?
My greatest weakness. I would have to say that I like to get things done, and I like to get them done quickly. Some tasks require more time than that, and so I find, for me, if it's a task I've been given that day, I want to finish it before I go home. and I might turn an 8-hour workday into a 10-hour workday on my own time. I would never, of course, charge the company if I'm choosing to work to finish that task, but I like to finish whatever I'm assigned to do that day during that day's time.
Okay. How do you handle stress and pressure?
As you mentioned earlier, I consider myself a pretty organized person, and so I will take my task, if there's a bunch of things that I'm working on, and try and prioritize them. And in prioritizing them, I put what my boss sees as most important first, and I work through getting that done and juggling multitasking in a way in which I'm able to be successful in all the tasks without saying, oh, this is too much to handle, which is what I've seen some people do, some of my colleagues do at work.
Can you give me an example of a difficult work situation, customer, or project that you had and how you handled that?
Sure. Actually, just yesterday, our fax machine stopped working, and we were expecting, we had a deadline for applications coming in yesterday, and they all come in through the fax. And so we were trying to figure out how to fix it, and one of the solutions that I came up with was to use the database that I created to do a blast email to everyone to let them know that the fax machine was broken and that these are the alternatives to get us your application, to either fax us at a different number or to scan the applications to us. And then I also started working with our IT department to see if they could come out and figure out what was wrong with the fax machine, while at the same time looking at the ordering process to get us a new fax machine, which hopefully will be there by Tuesday.
How did that all work out for you?
I think pretty well. The customers responded that they were glad to see that we have alternatives and that we are also going to be extending the deadline since the machine was broken on our part and not on their deadline.
Okay. Why'd you answer our ad?
Oh, I just think that this company, I've seen the amazing things that you're doing in aerospace and in the community, and I really want to be a part of a company that has growth opportunities. You seem to, when I've done my research online, it seems as if the size of the company would provide for growth. And my job now is currently part-time, and I really would love to have a full-time job that can utilize and maximize my skill set and offer me the opportunity to grow.
Very nice. So with that, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm hoping that I'll be promoted into an opportunity, maybe even one day have your job. I don't know. I'd love to continue growing in my career and in the profession. I will be obviously continuing to keep my skill set upgraded and up to date and continue with my education in school as well.
Very nice. So if I contacted people who know you, what do you think they'd tell me about you and why I should hire you for this position?
They would tell you that I'm a very dedicated and hardworking person, that I work well with others, I'm really friendly and easy to get along with, that I have initiative and will start something to make it something better or take something and make it better all the time, and that I'm just a good person and your company would be happy that they hired me.
Very nice. Do you have any questions for me?
I have one question. What do you see as the perfect candidate for this position?
Well, and I'm not going to say her. Obviously, we're looking for somebody who works well within the team, who does see themselves in the future with our company. We invest a lot in our employees. We like to train them. We like to educate them. We want them to stay with us. We'd like to see you work yourself up through our company. This is obviously very entry level. You get an opportunity to get to know everybody, all of your department heads. You'll be doing projects, little jobs for each one of them. It's a great place for the right applicant to begin to move into the company and advance themselves.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Well, I really hope that you consider me and my skill set with the company.
Okay, Charisse, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, you too. Have a good day.
Thank you. I just want to ask you guys each a little question. Did you see, for the interview person, the interviewer, how much easier it was to interview somebody who clearly had direction. When people are interviewing, there's always a defined set of questions. Technically speaking, they are supposed to ask every applicant the same thing. But with Cherise, it was very easy to pull off of her answers and lead them into a question. And so don't be distracted by that. That's building on your strengths. And obviously she's very articulate. She had done her work. Now when I have my first person, I'm not going to say she might be the brightest girl in the world, but very hard to interview because clearly she was nervous, she wasn't prepared, and didn't really know very much about the company. Did Denise leave?
No.
Oh, there she is.
I just put my shirt on straight.
You want to come up here?
Yeah, I got the acting job, by the way.
Now tell me what you thought of the interviews. Yes.
Well, the first one was very painful for me. For me, sitting in a position of, I've been a manager, I've sat in your seat, and
Have you had that type of applicant?
absolutely have had that type of applicant. So, and you were being so kind and patient, and the note that was in my mind is, when I had somebody in front of me, I was interviewing them, but they should be also interviewing me. And if you're in that position and you start reading that you're not answering the questions quite at the same speed that they're being asked, that it's a moment to reflect that you need to get into the game,
Yeah.
or this interview
Is
isn't
over.
good.
It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
It's really over. And for the most part, it was over before it began.
It was, absolutely. But I would have dismissed it like quicker. You were just so much nicer. I would have said, thank you very much. I'd asked my 3 questions.
You're out.
And you don't have time and I don't have time. So you got it, you know?
Yeah, the phone, like I said, in the band to the bone, I apologize. I just couldn't skip that.
Plus, you wanted to go through all the different questions and show that with different ways.
Yeah, and how she
Yes.
really didn't answer anything.
Part of the
You know.
scripting and sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
Well, and sometimes for legal reasons, you can't, I work for the Heart District, and you do have to ask all the
Right.
questions. You do have, it even gets tape recorded.
Yes, some
So
of them
you
do.
do, even if the person is not, from the beginning, he or she's not gonna get the job, you do have to go through all the questions.
Through the process.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And they
There's
are
legal
tape
reasons,
recorded.
you can get sued, yeah.
That's right. That's right. And now, and like I said, and Cherise on the other hand, now who would you hire? Okay, now given her interview, if I've sat here and I've interviewed her, and you obviously have no clue who my last applicant was, that's a tough act to follow. This is not. So maybe, even to be somewhere in the middle is probably not a bad thing. But, like I said, I've seen many different people walk through that door. And just like you said, immediately, you're like, well, this is a waste of my time. But they can't know that.
Right.
They can't know
I
that.
give it a reason.
Yeah, Debbie,
Were you concerned when she wanted the job?
when she went to my job, let me tell you something. I actually had a gal work for me. And I told her one time, I don't want anybody who doesn't want my job. Because if not, I'm working too hard. You need to be pursuing what's going on to move yourself up that ladder. I always wanted people who wanted my job.
Bubbles push the cork out.
Absolutely. And not only that, they made me work harder. So,
I think it would be good to just make sure that they know who Denise really is.
oh,
who I
absolutely.
really-
Absolutely.
Schooners for lunch, right? Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh.
So, Okay, obviously the LifeForward workshops are put on by the Zonta Club of Santa Clarita. So this is Denise Davis. She's a realtor in Santa Clarita, has been a realtor for many years, and she's an active member in the Zonta Club. This is Dr. Sharice Moore, and she's with the Board of Education, correctly, or?
I do work with the Heart District in a lot of capacities on a volunteer basis, but I'm a senior researcher with the American Institutes for Research, which is based out of Washington, D.C. And I have the pleasure and honor of actually getting to work remotely from my house.
And she's also an active member in Zonta. Yeah. So. Anything else?